Chuck Perkins has skied all his life. Growing up in Burlington, Chuck just had a passion for the sport.
I started skiing probably about 5 years old, but my mom and dad never skied. I don't think mom and dad ever had a pair of skis on. Yeah, I skied wherever I could, but I really never had any family to ski with. It was all on my own.
I never skied till we got married. And the first time, he took me to Mad River Glen, and they had a sign there, and it said, "Experts only go to the top."
Going to the top of Mad River Glen in 1956 to learn how to ski was like learning to swim by jumping into the deep end of the pool. But Jann and Chuck have been doing that for over 66 years. After graduating from UVM, Chuck had worked for J.C. Penney in Texas and New York before the company brought him back to Burlington.
So it kind of all fell together. I had the cost accounting experience, I had the retail experience, I was back in my hometown. It was an opportune time to open a business of my own.
So Jann and Chuck took the plunge and opened a ski shop, the Alpine Shop, which 54 years later continues in the same location today.
We opened the store November 4th, 1963. Our son was born November 25th, 1963. So it's just 3 weeks after we opened the store that Jann had our son.
We had 1,200 square feet, and Chuck and I. And one day, we sold 3 pair of dollar socks. And we worked 12 hours for that, the two of us. And I remember looking at him, he's the optimist, and I said, "We are going to die."
So in 63, we only had clothing. 64, Harp Ski would open us as a dealer. And they were the number 2 ski, but you had to have head to be number 1. And in 1965, we got head skis and we were on our way. And if you had head skis, almost any line of the industry was open to you, because that was the line you had to have. Very different than today.
But what a time it was then to open a ski shop. Alpine skiing was entering boom years, and Vermont was exploding with new areas like Sugarbush, Stratton, Killington, and Bolton. And its old favorites like Stowe, Bromley, Mad River, Smuggler's Notch were expanding.
At the Alpine Shop, we used to work with the ski swaps, and the high schools have ski swaps. We would send our employees over to help people get fitted for skis and boots, and then we'd invite them to bring them over to the store free of charge, and we'd adjust the boots to fit the binding to try to make it affordable for everyone.
The shop even supplied some schools with skis and boots for the season, enabling the schools to equip interested students and bus them to Cochran's to learn to ski. The shop helped UVM's top racers as well.
Chip Lacasse was the coach, and he was coach, I think, for something like 30 years up there. And we knew Chip well, and we worked with him. Anything the team needed that we could provide or help them out with, tuning the skis, sharpening, providing wax, or anything that we could do to help the team, we would do. And they won 6 championships during his reign. It was an honor and a privilege to work with a national champion team.
The Swiss world champion, Walter Prager, retired from coaching Dartmouth in the late 50s, and then in the mid-60s, he repped for some of the ski wear companies.
It was much later I found that he was so instrumental in the 10th Mountain Division, and I got hung up on the 10th. And he and Fred Islin and Pete Seibert were all in the same platoon, the 87th Regiment for the 10th Mountain. And the ski sculpture came to us because of that.
With a deep appreciation for the service of the 10th Mountain Division in World War II, Jann and Chuck commissioned a second bronze statue be made, identical to the one in the center of Vail, honoring the soldiers of the 10th. And today, it presides over the mountain road in front of their Stowe residence, a reflective place for any 10th Mountain veteran. And the Perkins reverence for our mountain troops is recognized.
And they made me an honorary member of the 10th Mountain Division, which I'm very proud of.
While the 10th Mountain has adopted Chuck and Jann, the Perkins have extended their own family to encompass so many who have worked with them over the years.
We had so many wonderful kids go through that worked with us, and to see them grow up. And you know, when you work 12 hours every day, who you work with are your family.
And a lot of people talk about, it's a way of life, but for us it really was.
The ski museum here has been kind of our life as well. and preserving it and enjoying the ski business. You learn through the museum, and we've got a fabulous museum here in Stowe, and that's been part of our life as well.
But when you go skiing as a family, it's a family bonding thing.
Our grandkids are phenomenal skiers. Their folks have had them out there since they were about 3.
I think it's a family thing. I think it brings a family together. My mom lived to be 109 years old. She was the oldest living Vermonter when she died. And her saying was, one day at a time. You know, you got to enjoy every day and have fun. And we certainly
We
have.
do.